All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to take this amazing journey, starting with the incredible biology right inside your own head and ending up with the mind-bending physics of the sky itself. Yep, we're connecting your eye to why the sky is blue. Let's do this.
Okay, so let me ask you something. What do your eyes and a super high-tech camera really have in common? Well, it turns out pretty much everything. I mean, they both capture light, they both focus it to create an image, but the way your eye pulls it off, that's just pure biological genius.
And that's a perfect lead-in to our first section. We're going to treat the human eye exactly like a living, breathing camera and just unpack how this incredible biological machine actually works.
So check out this diagram. It's kind of wild, right? Just like a camera, the eye is basically this enclosed sphere. You've got a lens up front and a super light-sensitive screen at the back. Every single part you see here, it has a hyper-specific job, and they all have to work together perfectly to create the world you see, every single moment of every day.
And what's so cool is how perfectly these parts map to a camera. Think about it. The cornea is where the light first bends. The iris and pupil, that's your aperture, controlling how much light gets in. The lens does all the fine-tuning for focus, and the retina at the back, that's the digital sensor. Then you've got the optic nerve, which is like the USB cable sending all that data straight to the ultimate processor, your brain.
But here's where it gets really incredible. Your eye has this superpower called the power of accommodation. It's basically your built-in, super advanced autofocus. It's the lens's amazing ability to physically change its own shape to keep things sharp, whether you're looking at something miles away or right up close.
So how does it do that? Well, it's all thanks to these tiny, powerful muscles called the ciliary muscles. When you're looking at something way out in the distance, they relax, and that makes the lens thinner. But the moment you look at something close, like your phone screen, those muscles contract, and the lens bulges out, becoming thicker. And the crazy part? This is all happening constantly, without you ever having to think about it. It's just automatic. Of course, sometimes this amazing system isn't perfect. It can be a little off, and that's what leads to some really common vision problems. So let's take a look at what goes wrong, and more importantly, how we fix it. Okay, so here are the two big ones that affect, literally billions of people. First, you've got myopia, or nearsightedness. This is usually when the eyeball is a little too long, so the image forms in front of the retina. The result? Distant stuff gets blurry. To fix it, we use a concave lens. Then there's hypermetropia, or farsightedness. Here, the eyeball is a bit too short, and the image tries to form behind the retina, so things up close are out of focus. And the fix for that? A convex lens. Simple as that.
All right, so we've totally unpacked the eye, the receiver of the image. Now, let's switch gears completely and talk about the signal itself, light, because there are some incredible secret colors hiding inside every single beam of sunlight. Who hasn't seen a rainbow, right? It's just one of the most beautiful things in nature. But what you're really seeing is physics playing out on this massive, epic scale. Every single one of those millions of tiny water droplets hanging in the air is acting like a tiny little prism, splitting the sunlight into all its different colors.
And yeah, that process has a name. It's called dispersion. It's this simple but honestly profound idea that the white light we see every day isn't really one thing at all. Nope. It's a mix of a whole bunch of different colors, all traveling together. And that full band of colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, we call that a spectrum.
And the guy who first cracked this code? None other than the legend himself, Isaac Newton. He was the one who first took a simple glass prism and proved scientifically that sunlight is actually made up of all these different colors. And his experiment was just so elegant and simple. First, he took one prism and used it to split a beam of white light into that rainbow spectrum. But then, and this is the genius part, he put a second prism, but inverted, in the path of that rainbow. And what happened? It recombined all those colors right back into a single beam of white light. It's just brilliant. It proved the colors were in the light all along. Okay, so now let's take that idea but scale it way, way up. Instead of a little glass prism, let's think about our entire planet's atmosphere. Because when light interacts with the atmosphere, well, that's when we get some truly beautiful and honestly mind-bending effects. So, to really get a handle on these atmospheric wonders, you just need to know two key things about how light and air play together. The first is atmospheric refraction. That's just the bending of light when it travels through layers of air that have different densities. The second is scattering of light.
And that's the spreading of light in all directions when it bumps into all the tiny particles floating around in the atmosphere.
And it's amazing how much these two simple ideas can explain. That bending, the refraction, that's why stars seem to twinkle. And it's also why we get about 4 extra minutes of daylight every day, because the sun's light gets bent over the horizon. And the spreading, the scattering, well, that's the big one. It's the reason our sky is blue, and it's also why sunrises and sunsets are so incredibly red and orange.
Okay, let's just tackle the biggest question head on. Why is the sky blue? It is all about scattering. See, the tiny particles in our air, mostly nitrogen and oxygen, are just the right size to scatter shorter wavelengths of light way more effectively than longer ones. And guess what? Blue and violet light have short wavelengths. So as sunlight comes in, the red and yellow light just passes straight through. But the blue light gets scattered all over the place, in every direction. That scattered blue light fills the sky and is what enters our eyes from all angles.
And if you want the ultimate proof, here it is. Imagine you're an astronaut in space. You're above the atmosphere, so there are no particles to scatter the light. So what does the sky look like? It's completely, utterly black, even with the sun blazing right there. It's the perfect demonstration that it's our atmosphere, and only our atmosphere, that creates that beautiful blue sky we see every day.
So there you have it. We've gone from the inner workings of our eyes, these incredible biological cameras, all the way to how our entire atmosphere paints the sky. But it kind of leaves you with one last big thought, doesn't it? We've only been talking about the colors we can see. So what other wonders, what other incredible phenomena are happening all around us, all the time, in the parts of the light spectrum that our eyes just weren't built to perceive?